Hello, welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and this is Richard. So I am going to share something that I did not particularly plan on sharing with everybody so soon, but figure what the heck. Apparently it's time to share this. So some of this is going to be repeated from other videos and things to that nature, but to get an actual view of what I'm trying to express here, I guess I kind of have to go back in time a little bit. So when I first started my YouTube channel, it's been 9 years now, I originally planned on focusing on my martial arts as an aspect of self-defense and combat and things to that nature. I began my channel with a tire dummy expression training exercise that had, I think, about seven different techniques to train, and people did not understand. Well, most people did not comprehend what I was trying to express, and they kind of tore it up a little bit and started getting really mean and nasty and just saying mean, horrible things. And I wasn't interested in getting those kind of negative feedbacks. I mean, if they had positive criticism, it would have been one thing, but they were just being mean and assholes. So anyway, I thought about it, and I decided that at the time it was not going to be feasible for me to begin this channel as as my self-defense / combat and martial art type thing. So I moved to the second aspect that I work on, and that's my outdoors adventure type stuff, my survival skill sets and things to that nature. So I decided I was going to bring you guys along on my experimentations and exploits of learning, practicing, and gaining experience in that particular aspect of survival and that sort of thing. Now, it did expand a little bit into not just survival and that sort of thing, but it became more of an outdoor adventure channel, and it expanded a little bit. But I still tried to avoid the martial art aspect of it. Well, the self-defense and combat aspect of it. And then eventually that kind of went away, and I started throwing a little bit of that into my channel as well. Now, I have never had a plan to express that all of that was the same thing. But with the way I see things going, I think now is as good enough time as any to just come out and express the true nature of this channel. Now, I guess in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that my martial arts, or my self-defense and combat, is not separate from my survival and outdoor adventures. It's all one system. And I don't think that I have ever expressed that to too many people, but I know I haven't said it here on YouTube. But when it comes down to it, my martial arts has 5 aspects. Now, there are 4 ranges of attack, or 4 ranges. There's 4 ranges to self-defense and combat. You have the well, you could count extreme distance with firearms and things to that nature as a distance, but I do not, because that is not part of what I do. So I have 4 ranges of combat. I have hand-to-hand, or I take that back. Kicking is the first range. Kicking range is the furthest range away that I will deal with. So we have kicking range. It is the range that it takes for you or I to kick each other. You can't necessarily punch or do anything else from that range, because kicking is a larger range than the rest of them. After you have your kicking range, you have your striking range, the punching. And that gets in a little closer. Now, after you have your kicking and punching range, then you have your trapping range. Trapping range is a stand-up for the most part. You have your stand-up, but you're close in where you can use elbows and things to that nature and trap and lock. And then lastly, you have your grappling range. Grappling range is on the ground, and it's the closest range you can get without being in the same skin. So those are the 4 ranges of combat that my system deals with. But those are the 4 elements of the 5. There's one more element that I very rarely teach in martial art class well, I don't teach it at all to the mass public. But the last aspect to my overall encompassing martial art, Zenshin, Aikido, Aikijitsu, is survival. Now, as far as I have found in the 41 years that I've been doing martial arts, I have only found one other system that truly adds survival and survival skills, urban and wilderness survival, to their martial art, is ninjutsu. It's the only one I've ever seen do it, and they get a lot of slack and a lot of BS about it, but I think it's an important and necessary aspect of an overall martial art. Now, I've never expressed that because I've seen what people say and do with ninjutsu about it, but I think that the time has come to express that 5th aspect of my martial arts to the whole world. So, when it comes to systems that I've trained in several martial arts in my life. I started at 12 years old. I have a couple videos up that talks about my background. I'm not going to go into it here, but I've got 41 years of training under my belt at this point, and it's just going to continue. Going through them briefly just to express the aspects that came from what ranges I'm using. So Aikido is my trapping and throwing range. It's my trapping range. So there's one of the ranges, the trapping range. The Kali is where I get most of my striking and kicking from. So there's 2 more. I have my kicking, my striking, and my trapping. So those are 3 of the 4. The 4th one is the grappling. Now the grappling I got from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, from wrestling, basically MMA training. Because of my MMA training, I was able to train with some very, very skilled BJJ guys, with some very extremely skilled wrestlers and catch wrestlers, Greco-Roman wrestlers, just wrestling, high school, college wrestlers. So I've gotten a lot of grappling. I do not profess any particular style of grappling because I trained it under the MMA banner when I was fighting, so that I would gain the grappling skills for my MMA fighting. So I never worried about ranks, I never worried about belts, I never worried about any of that stuff with any of these arts. So, and I do know how BJJ arrogance gets a little out of control. They have a lot of testosterone and they're insane people. But regardless, we'll keep that out for another video. So I do not claim to have a rank or a status in any of those arts. Now I do have a legitimate 4th degree black belt in Kijitsu Kai Aikido, and one day I hope to gain a 5th degree in that. But if you're looking for someone who's just wanting to express how awesome they are and what kind of ranks they have and what kind of certificates they have, you're not really going to find that here. So if you want to find somebody to laugh at or to express disdain for when they express they have 80 different martial arts and they have like 120 different degrees of black belts and things of that craziness, you're not going to find that here. There may be some people who watch my martial art videos and truly believe that I don't have skill, and that's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings in the least bit. You might have people who want to question things. That's okay. Doesn't hurt my feelings. A lot of people say it doesn't work and it won't work. And for them, I say, well, maybe you should first of all say that it doesn't work and it won't work for you. For me, it works fantastic. I've got plenty of real life experience that has proven that to myself. So, regardless. But out of those 4 ranges, I have my combat. But what is also there that has not been expressed is my ability to survive and to thrive in an outdoor or urban environment. And especially through the last 9 years of my life, I have gained immense amount of knowledge, of skill, and then that went into experience of doing that. And I think that has rounded off my martial arts as a whole. I make this video because truly, honestly, I don't know how much longer I am going to be able to express my views or to teach my martial arts or my survival to the general public. I really truly have a feeling that society is changing for what I consider to be the worst, and I am not going to be able to express this openly to a large group of people. Now, I have hung out with and trained with a handful of militias. From my experience, I do not care for militia groups. From my experience, the ones that I have come in contact with have all been wannabes. 99.9% of them have never been in the military, nor have they even been close to anyone that has been in the military. They don't know what's going on. They don't truly have the skills of survival and the abilities to do this stuff for real. They either want to place airsoft or they just want to pretend like they're a military group or something like that. Now, I'm not throwing a blanket over every militia group in the United States or abroad. I guess there may be some elsewhere. I'm not throwing a blanket over all of them. I'm just saying from my limited experience, that's what I found. I have looked, for many years, I have looked for a core group of people that I can work with personally so that we as a group could be ready for what's coming up. I have not found it, and I don't believe I ever will. I don't think it exists, to be totally honest. These internet groups will not survive what's coming. They won't. They're too far distant. Even if they had a core group of people that were skilled and that were capable and that were willing. That's important. They were capable and they were willing. Even if you have these people, they're so far apart from each other, they're never going to be able to meet, they're never going to be able to gather, and it's not going to happen. What you need is a core group of serious, but not lunatic, serious people who are willing to train, to learn, and to share, but they have to be in your area, and they have to be people that you work with on a regular basis. I tell you this, when it does happen, and I see it happening soon, when it does happen, let's see if I can fix this here so that I will not, there we go, maybe, there we go. So when it does happen, people outside of my circle are going to remain outside of my circle. And what I mean by that is that if you are not a core person who I've been training with, who I know personally, who I respect, who I can count on, and who feels the same way about me, if you are not already that person, you will never be that person. There will not be any explorations or gatherings of people once all of this shit hits the fan. It'll be too late. At least in my perspective, it'll be too late. So you're either, and I don't want this to sound, woo, there goes my umbrella. It's basically gonna happen beforehand, or it just won't happen at all. So, and I haven't been able to find very many people that have the skills to share or have the ability or desire to learn and have the dedication to remain. I haven't found but maybe one person, maybe. And really that's probably all you'll need is one or two people. I see dark times. I see dark times, people. Dark times coming.